What's going on, everybody? Hello. Pip, hello, yes. Cm42TV, Chris Moffat speaking. What the hell? Why the hell not? Let's do a feckin' countdown. Why not? Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cm42TV. My name is Chris Moffat. You may have heard me on the Good Bit podcast or seen me right here on Cm42TV. And if you haven't heard the Good Bit podcast, you can. Link below. Me, myself, and my fellow young performers and aspiring actors and people of that nature talking about our favourite movies. Check it out on iTunes, the Good Bit podcast. And now I thought I'd do a little video here, a little countdown, because history is about to be made, ladies and gentlemen, not only on CM42TV, but in this feckin' country. Yes, that's right, for the first time ever, WWE Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live will be emanating from Glasgow, Scotland. Raw and SmackDown, the feckin' TV shows, and that makes me go, whoosh. The TV shows, Raw and SmackDown, that we've watched for years, and since I've watched since I was a feckin' baby, I'm going to be there, at the Hydro, watching it live, and it's going to be on TV, on Sky Sports 5, and USA Network, or whatever channel it's on. Raw and SmackDown, from Glasgow. Oh my god, couldn't be more excited, feckin' buzzing at my nut. Buzzing, says man. And yeah, you know, that's I'm not even kidding. That's a legit thing. Raw and SmackDown is going to be from Glasgow this week, and I'm going to be there. I can't wait to do it. So if you guys are there and you see me, if you recognise me from the podcast, because obviously on the podcast you always see my face, or whatever, come say hello if you see me. That's always cool. That's always, like, the past couple of years that's happened. More than other years, obviously, because I don't know, people listen to the podcast or whatever. Last year was pretty cool because it was like 3 or 4 different people were like, I listen to your podcast, man, it's cool. And I was like, yeah, man, it's pretty cool. So yeah, if you see me, come say hello. I'll be pleasant with you, and then once you leave, I'll start telling how annoying you are and stuff. But I'm going to do a countdown because it seems that like 6 or 7 of my favourite YouTubers and people I watch on YouTube are in this sort of countdown mood now, which is great because countdowns are the feckin' best. To make, to do, to record, to watch. I love countdowns, and I wanted to do them as well. I've always wanted to do a countdown series, but I just never stick to them, and it's different because it's like an effort to make the list. You just never do them. But I've been doing them on the podcast. I've done, a few months ago I did my top 15 movies on the Good Bit, and we just did recently top 5 movies that made you cry and things like that. Just random silly movie countdowns, but I want to do silly countdowns for everything. So I was thinking, I want to do it, something relevant. I know I said it's random, but relevant to a certain extent. So I was going to do my top 5 Justin Bieber songs. Yeah, and what do you mean? Sorry, that was a silly joke. I just love myself. Ho ho! I was going to do top 5 Justin Bieber songs, and I thought, nah, it's not going to work, is it? So, wrestling, yay! Let's do a wrestling one. Wrestling has never let me down. Jeez, I've got a glass of cold water. Just dabbed there. Cold water. Oh, that was awful. Right, okay. Top 10 WWE matches that have taken place in the UK that were televised, right? I've been to countless house shows, and I could include them, I kind of remember them, but, it's not really fair, is it? I've seen, Matt versus Jeff Hardy in an I Quit match. I've seen Daniel Bryan versus Sheamus twice. I've seen Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt and Triple H and Undertaker in the same team. John Cena teaming up with DX against Legacy. I've seen these classic matches and stuff. And of course there's TNA, they've had their TV show here before. And that was a big deal. Like when Impact was from Glasgow, that was big enough. The fact that Raw and SmackDown is even crazier. But TNA have always had great matches here. Not to mention the home promotions like ICW and stuff. The Chris Renfrew and Grado match from the Square Go back in January is legit one of my favourite matches I've ever seen live, which is so good and crazy main event feel to it, you know what I mean? So that was great. But I wanted to do WWE matches that were televised so everybody else can sort of relate, and you may have seen it yourself. So these are all matches that I've not seen live because obviously the first ones that are going to take place are going to be on Monday and Tuesday. So WWE matches that took place in the UK that were televised on TV or pay-per-view or whatever. So that's what we're going to do. And of course there was that amazing NXT show last year, the takeover from London. I didn't include it because I always make a point of saying that WWE and NXT are different things. However, the fact that they're now more of a brand is kind of being incorporated in there, but they're completely different shows. for good reasons, you know what I mean? So all WWE here, no NXT, no ECW, no any stuff like that from the UK. So here we go. Top 10 WWE matches from the UK that have been televised. Number 10, I have Triple H versus Kevin Nash from Insurrection 2003. This is a weird one because when I was younger, I always wanted Insurrection 03 on DVD for some reason. Like, I'd go to HMV and it would be between the DVD I bought and Insurrection 03. I don't know why. I just thought, I guess maybe I didn't see it when I was younger and I thought, oh, it's a show I've not seen before. And back then, wrestling was everything. I say that back then as if it's not now, but you know what I mean. Like, back then, you were just so oblivious to everything and just, you wanted more. And I hadn't seen that show and I knew it was from somewhere near where I live and Stone Cold was there and stuff, you know. I don't know. I just always wanted it and I never bought it ever. And fun fact, when the WWE Network was first launched, one of the first shows I watched was Insurrection 03 because I'd never seen it. So that, you know, and then that match is pretty good. I mean, the show's not particularly great or anything, but that was one that stood out for me. Again, you know, this list here, I probably have forgotten some amazing matches and stuff, but, you know, these are the 10 I remembered anyway. So Triple H, Kevin Nash from Insurrection 03, Ric Flair loses so much blood, Shawn Michaels is just about kicking his ass, which is cool. Number 9, I have Triple H versus The Undertaker from Insurrection 2002. This is weird as well because 2 days before this pay-per-view, this guy, attended my first ever wrestling show, and it was at the SECC on May the 2nd, 2002. And I was 4 years old, it was my first ever WWE show, and I recently just found the match card for that show, and that was feckin' surreal to read, because I kind of vaguely remember stuff, but I wasn't, you know, I could just be making it up, you know. Oh yeah, Stone Cold was there. Was he? Turns out he was, so I was very happy about that. At that show, RVD versus X-Pac, Brock Lesnar versus Matt Hardy, a fatal 4-way for the hardcore title, Stone Cold versus The Big Show, Eddie Guerrero versus Jeff Hardy, and in the main event was Ric Flair and Triple H versus The Undertaker and William Regal. That was my first ever wrestling show and it was fucking crazy. I just remember it being far too loud for me, standing on my dad's shoulders because we had the worst seats ever. And I always thought I'd never seen Brock Lesnar live. And I was like, you know, I wanted to see Brock Lesnar live. I thought I'd never get to see him unless I went to a pay-per-view or something, but turns out I have. He wrestled Matt Hardy on May the 2nd, 2002, so that was cool. But yeah, my number 9 anyway was from Insurrection 2002. Number 8, I have Cesaro versus Dolph Ziggler versus Tyson Kidd from SmackDown at the 14th of November 2014. This is, I think, the most recent match on the list. An amazing triple threat match just on a random SmackDown. I think it was for the Intercontinental title. Ziggler just won the title when he was in that feud with Luke Harper. And he had some great matches and stuff. He had a great ladder match at that year's TLC. And they just had this 3-segment triple threat match on SmackDown. That's a total hidden gem. You can find it on YouTube, I think. Great match. Highly recommended. Number 7, Eddie Guerrero versus Rob Van Dam from Insurrection 2002. I'm currently watching through some old stuff on the network and stuff, and I'm at this point, which is kind of cool because obviously the WWE are here right now. They're doing their UK tour for November 2016, so it's kind of cool. I'm kind of at the point where I'm watching old stuff that they're at their UK tour as well, and this is the opening match to that show, and it's a great match. A lot of the UK matches get forgotten because, you know, they were on Sky Box Office exclusively, unless you bought the DVD or the VHS. So this is a great one. I highly recommend you checking this one out. It's a good 15-minute match. Eddie and RVD, 2 of the best ever, opening this pay-per-view, so that's cool. Number 6. Number 6 is Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho. I've written Shawn Michaels versus HBK. Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho, last man standing match from Raw, 10th of November 2008. Yeah, I just remember this match being great. Jericho with the Walls of Jericho on the taxi that they have on the set, which I thought was really cool. So, yeah, just a good last man standing match that I remember taking place in the UK. Shawn versus Jericho. Number 5, William Regal versus Daniel Bryan from Superstars, the 10th of November 2011. William Regal's coming out and they play the "He's a Man" song, and he's cracking up and stuff, and it's so cool because it's like, it's Superstars, right? So they all know backstage no one's watching, do you know what I mean? And then so they can just do whatever they want, and the crowd pop massive for Regal, and they have this amazing match. Bryan and Regal obviously great friends, and, you know, 2 of the greatest wrestlers ever. So it's a great match, plus the fact that it's in, you know, it's in England, so the fans are crazy for Regal, and then that little thing, that little Easter egg during his entrance. Yeah, it's a great match as well. Just a cool little thing. I always remember that. I don't know why. You know, because it was like one night I was like, I watched Superstars because, you know, it was from the UK, and that happened. I just remember seeing no one's going to see this match, and it's a shame because it's so good. Great water. Number 4, I have Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock from Rebellion 2001. Rebellion 01 is one of my favourite pay-per-views of all time. Why, you ask? Because I had it on VHS when I was younger, and you know what happens when you're younger and you're just sort of crazy about wrestling. You just watch stuff over and over again and just let things play. And the beauty of VHS was that you could just sort of put it in, and you couldn't skip really. I mean, you could fast forward, but you couldn't skip to the next point. You had to kind of watch it all. So I watched same with King of the Ring 01 and SummerSlam 02 and things like that. It's WrestleMania 17. Just all the time on the telly, and this was one of them, Rebellion 01, and the main event is Stone Cold versus The Rock. And my good buddy Glenn was at the show, and I didn't know that until recently, and I'm so jealous. So one day, myself and Glenn will sit down and watch Rebellion 01 together, and that'll be a great time. Top 3. Number 3, Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog, SummerSlam 92. You know, obviously this is going to be considered the best one, right? Everybody's favourite UK match. But the thing about it is, obviously, it's 92 with me, I only saw recently, and I would only like appreciate it now, you know? I was born in 97, so like old wrestling to me would be like the 90s and stuff, right? So, and then you have to, now, you know, this age of stuff, I've seen it all, you know, I've seen the best and the worst of stuff. You should appreciate really good matches now. And going back and watching that, I've watched it countless times now because it is one of the greatest matches ever. And one of the greatest matches in SummerSlam history. So, number 3 is Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog. That's why it's not number 1, because it's not my era, it's not my time. However, it's still one of the greatest matches ever, so it had to be in the top 3. Number 2, a sentimental one, Edge versus Christian in a steel cage match from Rebellion 01 for the same reason that, you know, I just watch Rebellion 01 all the time. But the thing about it is sometimes you just put something on and then you turn it off. But Edge and Christian from this show was the opening match. So every single time I'd put Rebellion 01 on, I'd always watch that one because it was the first one. And also my dad made me like a custom DVD when I was younger. It's such a cool thing, but he made me like Chris's favourite matches DVD for my birthday one year. And you know, instead of playing full shows, I'd just put that DVD on, and it was like the worst quality ever. Like 6 of my favourite matches ever when I was like 6 or 7 or whatever. And this match was on there as well, Edge versus Christian, steel cage match from Rebellion 01. So that's why it's so high up on the list. And number 1, my favourite UK match of all time from WWE that was televised, Shawn Michaels versus John Cena from Raw, the 23rd of April 2007. Honourable mention goes to Shawn versus the British Bulldog from One Night Only. However, when I was younger, when I first watched that for the first time, I didn't like it because Shawn was being horrible. And he was being a big bad heel, and he was shouting at British Bulldog's wife, and I didn't like it, so I did not put it on this list in Rebellion. Rebellion. Anyway, my number 1 is Shawn versus Cena from Raw, and it is 1 hour Broadway. It is freaking amazing. One of the best matches ever. It's one of my top 20 favourite matches of all time. Number 1 or 2 favourite Raw match ever. You know, the WrestleMania 23 one is amazing, but this one is better than the WrestleMania one. Shawn versus John Cena. Raw UK 2007. What more can I say? So that's my list. That's my top 10 favourite WWE matches and WWF matches that have taken place in the UK, that were televised on TV or pay-per-view or whatever. So hopefully, Monday and Tuesday, we've got it on the calendar right here. Monday, Tuesday this week, November the 7th and November the 8th, Raw and SmackDown live from Glasgow. Watch it at 1 AM, Sky Sports 5, and of course USA Network or whatever, WWE Network, whatever it is. Your illegal stream site. And I'll be there, and I cannot wait. Feckin' Raw and SmackDown from Glasgow. What? That is like bucket list stuff. It is. When I was younger, like I'd always say, Dad, we have to go to Raw one day, and he'd go, oh, maybe we'll come to Glasgow. And obviously just saying that, sort of shrug it off. They're feckin' here on Monday, so it's going to be great. The show may suck. However, it doesn't matter. It's already won, you know, my heart. And maybe we'll see good old Noam Dar popping up, and that'd be feckin' amazing. No Pinky, no party. Thanks for watching. Make sure you check out the podcast. All links you need to access it in the description box. I would really appreciate it if you did. You can check it out on Podomatic, you can follow it on Twitter, you can check it out on Facebook, and of course you can subscribe on iTunes just by searching the Good Bit Podcast. And yeah, if you could subscribe, leave a rating, leave a review, download an episode, whatever you can do would be fantastic. And there's back episodes and episode highlights and stuff on this very channel, Cm42TV, and I'm in the process of setting up a Patreon account for it and a Letterboxd account and things of that nature, just to sort of expand, you know, the ways you can access the podcast and access my content or whatever. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you're at the show, Raw and SmackDown this week at the Hydro, make sure you say hello if you see me, and you know, enjoy yourself. So yeah, I'm Chris Moffat from the Good Bit Podcast here on Cm42TV. Until next time, Napoli.